Welcome to the Cold Hard Football Facts betting show, where we give against the spread picks for every single matchup. I'm Tanner Kern, joined alongside Braden Burcham, and we got a big slate coming up. Braden, you ready for this one?
We do. I am ready, Tanner. I'm doing fantastic, especially since Buffalo took care of Jacksonville on Monday night. That was my biggest wager this week, and so that was the first bet in a while where I felt like I could go to bed at halftime. So that was good to see. And let's keep feeding winners.
Yeah, I mean, you could have went to bed in the first quarter after that one. That was over. So we break down every single game on the show against the spread here. Last week for our core plays, so if you go to coldhardfootballfacts.com, this is totally free, guys, this entire site. So you can check out all our game breakdowns. We're going to add in the game previews here. So as you can see, going back to week 3, we have write-ups for every single game. We have premium content, all that good stuff, and it's totally free this season. We also have core plays, so we give our picks when it comes to spreads, money lines, totals. These are official Cold Hard Football Facts plays, which are data driven by these by all these core plays and stats right here. So if you guys want that, just make sure you go down the link in the description and sign up for an account. It's totally free. Again, all you need to do is enter your email address and you are good to go. So last week we were 15-12 on our core plays. And then this week we're just giving against the spread picks here, but our core plays for this coming week will be listed when this show is posted. So you'll be able to see those, everything that we have for week 4. We're rolling through the season, Braden. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Going along into week 4, seen some good football, seen some bad football. So a lot of underdogs are covering early on. So we'll see if the favorites can get them back this week.
Definitely. So going through the game, starting with Thursday night football, I'll do about a minute or two on each game. The Dallas Cowboys come into this one as the 21st ranked team in the Cold Hard Football Facts Quality Stats Power Rankings. The Giants are 21, so we're tied there. My biggest fear, Braden, is the rushing attack for the New York Giants. They are going to be able to run the football, I think, here, even though the 30th in offensive rusher rating. When you look at how bad Dallas has been, 31st in defensive rusher rating, I could say it's a get-right game, but we haven't seen a lot of get-right games. So what are you looking at here?
No, exactly. 100% agree. We have not seen a whole lot of Dallas's defense the last couple of weeks. We've seen the spread open up at 4.5 up to 6 now. I think that's a little too steep for me. I never want to back New York here, but I think Dallas does bounce back. I think they win this game. I don't know about covering the spread.
So in terms of a Cold Hard Football Facts play, guys, going off the numbers here, this would be a New York Giants plus 5.5 slam dunk, just because they're both tied and you're getting 5.5 points at home. So we'll make that final determination if it ends up on the sheet, but I would be on the Giants in that one. Moving into the Bengals and the Panthers here, we have Cincinnati as the 19th ranked team in the quality stats against the Carolina Panthers. Braden, on Monday Night Football, I said this is going to be the game that Cincinnati wins. They're not going to start 0-3. They started 0-3. So do they win this game or do they move to 0-4?
I think they win this game, Tanner. It's amazing to see the slow start that Cincinnati has presented the last few years. It's unbelievable, actually, if you look at their first 4 weeks. I think Carolina did look good last week coming off a win off the Raiders, but I think Cincinnati, this is a huge bounce back spot. Obviously, Cold Hard loves this play. I think it's 3.5 right now. I lean Cincinnati minus 3.5 in this one.
Yeah, I lean Cincinnati minus 3.5, minus 4.5. Really, I would play this up pretty high just because Carolina is due for a little regression. Even though Andy Dalton looked great last week, I don't think we're going to match it. And when you see all the green over here, this would definitely be a play for the Bengals. One fear, though, is how bad Cincinnati was on defense, but I'll tip my cap to Jaden Daniels. He was fantastic.
Yeah, he was absolutely awesome, but I do think Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase get back on track. I think they cover the spread.
So we have Broncos and Jets here. Denver is a 7.5 point road underdog. New York is laying 7.5 points at home. I'm not as high on New York as I think a lot of people are. They beat a bad Patriots team last week, who does not rank well in our metrics one bit. But looking at Denver here, coming off the win against the Buccaneers, they should have some momentum. 13th ranked team in the quality stats. When in terms of Cold Hard, this would probably be a Broncos plus 7.5 play. I wouldn't want anything to do with it. But Braden, how do you see this game?
Yeah, I agree. I want nothing to do with this game. I think if I had to pick a side, I'm definitely leaning Denver, and I'm back in Cold Hard here. I think 7.5 points is way too much. Aaron Rodgers is not the same quarterback that we've seen in the last couple of years. So if I had to pick a side, I'm definitely taking Denver here.
Yeah, 100%. Jacksonville versus Houston. The Texans come in as the 16th ranked team, coming off a loss last week to Minnesota. Very surprising there. I mean, we had it in cold hard. Obviously, you never feel great about betting a dog like the Vikings with Sam Darnold at quarterback, but it came through. That was thanks to the numbers. Minnesota actually ranked really close to Houston. So another plug for the numbers, guys. Make sure you go sign up, get your account, and check it all out. But looking at this game, Braden, you have the Houston Texans coming in as a 6.5-point home favorite. Jacksonville scares me, 29th ranked team in the quality stats power rankings. I do think they're going to bounce back, but as far as the numbers play go, this would be Houston minus 6.5. What would you say?
Yep, I definitely agree here with cold hard. I've honestly seen enough of Jacksonville after Monday night. I think the Texans come out. I think CJ Stroud's going to have the boys ready to play. I'm taking Houston minus 6.5 here.
Houston minus the 6.5. Take it to the bank. Rams versus Bears. This is the biggest trap line I think I've seen, but it makes sense when you look at the cold hard football facts. Again, guys, we have 22 proprietary stats that have been helping bettors win for 20 years. So everyone goes on the book and says, hey, why are the Bears a 2.5-point favorite? Well, this is why right here. They're 20th in the quality stats. They're a lot more efficient in many metrics. Now, when it comes to real quarterback rating, they're not good. With Caleb Williams, 32nd in real QBR. Their offensive line is 24th right now in offensive hog index. So when you look at it, the part of the game that people focus on is offense. Quarterback hasn't been good, but Bears defense is good enough to maybe slow down the Rams here and pull out a cover. What do you think, Braden?
This is a no play for me. I think I said last week on the show, Tanner, that I'm going to keep fading Caleb Williams until he proves me wrong. I think that might change this week. I think with the spread coming in at 2.5, I think I lean the Bears. I know it's going to be an ugly game, but with all the injuries that the Rams are dealing with, you got Puka out, Cooper Kupp out. I think I have a lean in the Bears in this one.
Yeah, and I do too. I wouldn't play it. It will probably be a cold, hard play because it's data-driven, guys. So when they're 20th and they're 2.5 at home, and it's a little bit of a trap line, you got to see where the sharp money is, obviously. But Bears looks like a okay play. I do want to see Caleb Williams perform, though, before I put my hard-earned money on them for sure. We got the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers here. The Vikings are a 2.5-point road dog here with how well they have played. Are you surprised by that line, Braden, or no?
Honestly, these have been the two most surprising teams to me. I think this could be a blowout. I think this could be go toe-to-toe, honestly. This is a stay away for me. I see on Cold Hard Football Facts, Minnesota is ranked 2nd and Green Bay's 5th. So obviously these teams are in the top 5 in the quality stat power rankings. But I think this is a no bet for me. I love what Sam Darnold's been doing. Malik Willis has been okay. But I just do not know what's going to happen in this game. I lean Minnesota with Cold Hard here, but it's probably a stay away for me.
So when we break down our plays, guys, for the official core plays, you look at the quality stats power rankings, number 1. So 2 versus 5 is very close. There's not really a lot of advantages there, especially when it comes down to a 2.5-point spread. Now, if the Packers or if the Vikings were, plus 7.5 and second ranked team, obviously that would be more of a go. But when we go down to real quarterback rating, which is the most indicative stat when it comes to championship football teams and winning games, the Packers do have the advantage there at number 3 compared to Sam Darnold and the Vikings at number 9. So probably a stay away game here, but looking at Minnesota as a plus 2.5 dog, don't just think they have a chance to win because they're 2nd in the quality stats and Green Bay's 5th. That's very close, too close to tell. And then real quarterback rating, Green Bay does have the advantage there. So probably going to be a stay away game when it comes to the official core plays when they're released. Looking at the Falcons and Saints here. These Saints are the 3rd ranked team in the quality stats. The Falcons are 19th. Braden, are you surprised by that, seeing Atlanta at 19th, considering how strong they've played teams?
I am very surprised. I think they've had an opportunity to win every game. Last week, Kirk Cousins had another chance to go down the field and beat Kansas City. In my opinion, I thought they were going to be in the top 10, so that surprises me. I think the Saints kind of fell back to earth last week, and I see they're still 3 in the quality stat power rankings on Cold Hard, but obviously it's still early. So Cold Hard loves the Saints here, but I think the Falcons are a much better team than being ranked 19.
Yeah, and the Falcons did have the rough first week. And again, Cold Hard really gets strong around week 6 when we have enough data to put into this. But, looking at Cold Hard, it's hard to go against it here for the Saints at plus 2.5. I don't think the Saints are all that. I think the Saints have played above what they're capable of. I think the Falcons have played below it. So probably a stay away here. But if this was week 6, week 7, week 8, then we're talking about Saints plus 2.5. It's a really good bet. So we're going into the Falcons and the Bucks. Rain is expected in Tampa. or not the Falcons and Bucks, the Eagles and the Buccaneers. My apologies there. Eagles and Bucks, wrong bird. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 15th in the quality stats. The Eagles are currently 10th right now. The Bucks do have advantages in a lot of key offensive categories. When it comes to the key defensive categories and in the trenches, you obviously the Eagles have the advantages there. But Braden, how do you see this game playing out?
I think, Tanner, I'm going to fall into the home dog trap. I think I'm going to take Baker and Tampa Bay at +2 at home. The Eagles have not impressed me at all this year. I know they got that win last week, but I think Baker bounces back here. Shout out Tampa Bay for ruining all my money line parlays last week, but I think they get back on track. I think they cover the +2 at home. I could even see them winning this game by 6 or 7. So,
the Eagles have not gotten the job done this season. So first off, just because they're ranking higher, I still don't respect the Eagles that much as a football team. They've almost found ways to lose games more than win them. Credit to them for the Saints dudes running into each other, which opened up Goddard for the long catch, would set them up to win the game. But overall, the Philadelphia Eagles just have not looked great. Steelers versus Colts here. We have Pittsburgh as the 6th ranked team. We have the Colts as the 18th ranked team. The Steelers have been fantastic. I would lean them -1.5, -122 on the road here. I think they moved to 4-0 against an Indianapolis team with Anthony Richardson that just quite frankly turns the ball over. You look at the real quarterback rating, 30th. You can't win like that. So I would lean towards Pittsburgh here. This would be a pretty heavy play for me.
Yeah, Richardson has not been good. I think Pittsburgh clearly has all the advantages in this matchup, according to Cold Hard. Spread only 1.5. I get it's a road team, but I thought Pittsburgh would at least be 2.5, 3 here. I'm still taking Pittsburgh at 1.5. I'll take my extra 2 points, and I think they move to 4-0.
Yep. So other couple things to look at here. Defensive real quarterback rating 3rd versus 23rd. So Pittsburgh has the quarterback advantage. They have the secondary advantage. So that is huge. The Patriots versus San Francisco 49ers. We don't have to spend too much time on this game. The 49ers are a 10-point favorite here. I don't believe the Patriots can cover in this game just because if San Francisco puts up 21 points, which is very doable, I don't trust the Patriots to score 13 and cover the spread. And obviously 10 doesn't get it done currently. So you agree with that, Braden?
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly what I was thinking. Even with San Francisco's all the injuries they're dealing with right now, I don't think the Patriots are kept under 6 points this week. I think San Fran covers this number with ease.
Yeah, and not much to talk about here. Real quarterback rating 26. San Francisco's 8th. Brock Purdy's been really good. I know he hasn't got a lot of credit this year, but when you look at his numbers, they've looked solid. Real passing yards per attempt 4. Scoreability is not great there. Scoreability measures how explosive an offense is, but offensive passer rating 6. So you see the biggest issue for them right now, offensive rusher rating. They're currently 15th, and that's because of the lack of their running back. Jordan Mason's done an okay job, but he's by no means Christian McCaffrey. Commanders versus Cardinals here. Interesting matchup. I don't think Jaden Daniels is going to be as good as he was last week. I think he's going to still improve, but you can't really get much better than he was on Monday Night Football. So what do you see from him in this one, Braden?
Yeah, Daniels was absolutely dominant. I think he's still going to put up good numbers in this one. I don't think it's going to be enough to cover the spread. I love Arizona this year. That's like my fun team to watch. I love everything that Kyler Murray's doing. They got Trey McBride, James Conner. I love that they're rushing the football. I think Cold Hard leans Arizona here, and I think I'm backing it.
Yeah, I mean, Cold Hard definitely would lean Arizona here. The one issue with it, you got 3.5 points, and you're only got a 3-gap difference here. And Washington's coming off a really good game on a Monday night. But I believe there's a trend. Road teams coming off Monday Night Football do not play well the next week. I could be wrong about that, but I thought I saw that on Twitter at some point.
I think I saw that too.
Yeah, if somebody sees that, let me know. Again, this is probably not a big enough gap for me to say, hey, I'm going to lay 3.5 with Arizona. And especially for Washington, you got to be thinking there's going to be that regression coming off the really good game against the Bengals on a Monday night. We saw it with Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You go on the road, you beat the Detroit Lions, you come back, you lay an egg against the Broncos. So I think we could see a similar situation coming in here.
Yep, 100%. Probably stay away from me. If I had to pick a side, though, I think I'm leaning Arizona.
Browns versus Raiders. This is a pick'em game. 1.5 point favors the Las Vegas Raiders at home against the Cleveland Browns. The Raiders seemed to give up last week. Didn't look really good against the Carolina Panthers. I don't trust the Browns offense at all. When you look at real quarterback rating, 28th. So Gardner Minshew has been a lot better for Las Vegas. Defensive real quarterback rating, they are 9th compared to 26th. I think the Browns defense gives them the best chance to win this football game. However, it's probably an under type of matchup at 37.5 because Cleveland's been bad, and I don't trust the Raiders to score against the Browns.
Yeah, this is an ugly game for me. Complete stay away. Did you see, Tanner, what Antonio Pierce said after the game last week about players making a business decision?
Yeah, they're making business decisions. Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on in Las Vegas right now. I complete stay away, but if I had to pick a side, I'm probably back in Cleveland mainly because of their defense.
Yeah, I agree with that. So going into the Chiefs and the Chargers here, the Chargers are very beat up right now. So like this number doesn't mean much. They play really good defense, but their quarterbacks beat up, their receivers are beat up, running backs beat up, offensive line struggling right now. Chiefs, I will say this, I love Cold Hard. Cold Hard has worked so well for the past 2 decades, but when it comes to the Chiefs, it does not work. Cold Hard does not work for the Chiefs. No statistic can measure how this team finds ways to win games. Like every year with Patrick Mahomes, when he's been in the Super Bowl or, been in a playoff game, like he is ranked lower for their team is ranked lower than their opponents. They always find a way to win games. So I can't even give a pick for this one. It would be Chiefs, in my opinion, no matter what, just because they always find ways to win.
Yeah, 100%. Probably stay away for me. I know that the Chiefs always have issues with the Chargers. Look for Travis Kelce to have a breakout game, though. He loves playing against the Chargers. I think he's averaging like 94.5 yards per game against the Chargers in the last 5-6 years. So look for him to finally come down to earth this season. But this is a stay away for me. I think the number's a little too high.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Bills versus the Ravens here. Bills are the number 1 team in the quality stats. Ravens are 13th. Ravens coming off that big win where they just continued to run the football. They are a 2.5-point favorite in this one. I mean, Cold Hard would say take the Bills here. Slam dunk play, take the Bills, especially when you look at their defensive rush rating. They're 5th. I mean, you know that the Ravens are going to want to run the football. The Bills can match them in every category there. I lean Bills here.
Yeah, 100%, Tanner. I think I'm going to continue to take Josh Allen until he proves me wrong. I love what he showed on Monday night, and I think that they get it done and they win this game.
Yeah, totally agree there. Cold Hard does too. Monday night doubleheader now, or simultaneous doubleheader, as they should say, which if you have YouTube TV, it's not bad. You can watch them both together. It's not bad, but
Yep, I had 2 TVs set up the other night and had them both rolling at the same time. Ended up turning off the Buffalo game at halftime. So
yeah, it kind of worked out well that one was a competitive game and one wasn't, because like you watch your game. The one thing I needed ETN to find the end zone, and they barely crossed the 50-yard line all night. If that would have hit, I would have had a nice little touchdown score parlay for both games. But unfortunately, you just can't always account for what's going to happen in football games. But with Cold Hard, you can. Makes it a lot easier. We have Will Levis in a primetime game. This is probably the worst possible spot for Will Levis here in a primetime football game, because he's become like the meme king. He's on the road now. They're a 1.5 underdog. I lean Tennessee here just because the quality stats, because the Dolphins are beat up, but it's going to be very hard for them to win this football game. It's probably a stay away from me. And if Will Levis starts throwing picks in primetime, he's probably getting benched next week.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I don't have a play in this game. If I had to choose, I lean Tennessee. But with Will Levis and Skylar Thompson facing each other on Monday nights, I can't imagine a whole lot of people are going to be tuned. Oh, maybe people will be tuning just because primetime. But this is one of the worst games of the weekend, in my opinion. But if I had to pick a side, I'm probably taking Tennessee.
Yeah. And then final game, this is going to be a fun one. Seattle versus Detroit here. Seattle is 4th in the quality stats. I think they've played better than they are. Detroit is 9th. The Lions are a 3.5-point favorite. According to Cold Hard now, this is a total stay away game just because you're not going to lay 3.5 points with a team that's 5 spots worse. However, as the season goes on, I do expect these numbers to adjust to a point where the Lions are much better than the Seahawks. But Braden, would you, from a betting perspective, putting Cold Hard aside, do you have anything here?
I think it's going to be a fun matchup. It's going to come down to the wire. I think I'm seeing 3.5 right now. I think this is a perfect primetime example of the Detroit ones on a game-winning field goal. They win the game but don't cover. I think if I had to pick a side, it might be Seattle just based on what Cold Hard is showing me. But I don't think I'm going to bet this game, Tanner. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably bet it just because it's primetime. You kind of got to bet it. But from a serious betting perspective, no, if I had to look at the board and this game was on a Sunday at 1:00, no, I'm not touching it.
Yeah, 100% agree.
So Well, guys, that does it for Cold Hard Football Facts against the spread picks. If you enjoyed this, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And the biggest thing that you guys can do to help is go to coldhardfootballfacts.com. It's linked in the description, and sign up for an account. Again, totally free this season. It's usually not. It's usually $160 for the year, but we're giving away for free. So make sure you sign up, try it out, and let us know how you like it in the comment section. So, Braden, what's the one thing you're looking for this week?
I'm looking for the favorites to finally start covering some spreads. I think a lot of the last 3 weeks has been chalk, a lot of underdogs. As you see that stat of underdogs 5.5 or more points, or 14-2 against the spread, it's absolutely unreal. I think the public's getting killed right now. So this week I'm looking for a lot of favorites to cover that line.
Yep, same here. So hopefully we get the favorites back. Hopefully the teams that Cold Hard says are going to win, find a way to win the game. And we will see you guys next week for another episode of Against the Spread Picks here on Cold Hard Football Facts YouTube channel.
See y'all next week.